Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Magically Cruising, the cruise podcast where we share our personal cruise tips and reviews to help you make the most out of your next sailing. My name's Kieran. I'm an independent travel agent specializing in all things cruise, Disney, and North America, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I cruise at... No, I don't. I do that every week. I blog. Why do I do that? I do cruise, but I blog also about cruising at Cruising with Kids and also on our MSN newsfeed. And I write about Disney and Universal on Mini Travelers.
Brilliant. Before we jump off, actually, should we talk briefly about your MSN newsfeed? Because obviously that's taken off and it's done incredibly well for you. If the guys are interested in checking that out, where's the best way for them to find out, or what is that? Can you just explain a little bit of kind of like about what it is and how or where to find it?
So it's if you've got, I suppose if you work in an office, you'll be really familiar with it because most offices have got Microsoft. Is that what they're called? Computers. Is that what they're
Microsoft
called?
Office. Yes, they got a Windows PC.
Sorry, Mrs. Apple. So if you've got one of those computers, then you've got Microsoft Start on there. So when you turn it on, you've got the news. So we have a news feed on there where we share very similar content to what we've got on our website, but we share daily news just to keep it updated and fresh and update stuff every couple of months, put it out again so that it's got a new angle to it. And you'll find us on there on Cruising with Kids.
Exciting, and it's doing really well for you as well. And I think it's really interesting because it's basically a news service, isn't it? Really, ultimately, you're providing like cruise and travel news from it. So if people go to like msn.com, they can find and subscribe to you and follow all your content on MSN, can't they now?
Yes, you can, and then it'll just appear in your feed. And as I say, it's news, but also tips, because I think for me, the only news I want to read at the moment is travel. So, not interested in the rest apart from the Olympics. So it's just there's news, tips, things we've experienced on cruises. So it's just interesting to read over your lunch break or while you're on the train or traveling to work. So that's what it's aimed at.
Amazing. Well, good luck. Well, congratulations, I should say, on that, because it's doing really well for you. So well done on that.
Thank you.
So it's it's not a spoiler, but if you've listened to our last episode, you'll know what we're going to talk about this week, because we got so excited talking about Universal Orlando last episode, that we kind of decided, as we were spending about 40 plus minutes before we even got to what we were planning to talk about, we were like, let's make 2 episodes. So this is kind of part 2 of our look at kind of Universal Orlando. But then also what we're going to talk about today is Epic Universe, which is going to be the new theme park coming to the Universal Orlando Resort next year. Now, we talked about it briefly last week. The reason why we're talking about this is Orlando is only a 45-minute drive away from Port Canaveral, so it is a fantastic land and sea option. We've talked about this multiple times on the podcast, so it is a tenuous link, but it is such an important part to you being able to do a land and sea holiday if you do one from Florida. So we're not going to dwell on that this episode because we've done multiple on it. But Sarah, what are you most excited for about Epic Universe coming next year?
I don't know. I'm all of it. And we are in Miami in February, and I can't believe it's not going to be open because I would be going. I'm just so disappointed. So it'll probably be the year after that we're here now. But definitely the Ministry of Magic. All of it. Dark Universe, I'm super intrigued. And the Isle of Berk, because we are massive How to Train Your Dragon fans in this house.
I think it's interesting, Universal has done a really fantastic job with this park I don't think when I first went to Universal, they had kind of the brands that I would love, and I would be like, oh my God, I would love to see that world come to life. I think Marvel Superheroes and Jurassic Park were probably the only 2 franchises where I was really, as a kid, like, and I say kid, I think 19 when I first went to Florida. They were the closest to like those immersive universes that I wanted to be kind of put into. Whereas I think they've, no pun intended, hit it out of the park with all the lands they're building in Epic Universe. And then they've picked some fantastic franchises and worlds that I think are globally renowned now and really exciting kind of IPs, for that, give it that clinical term, to bring to life as part of the Universal portfolio. I think what's really exciting about Epic Universe is I think it finally gives Universal a portfolio of parks now to make it an actual full-on destination. And I know it has been, but I think for Europeans or Brits who are going away for 2 weeks or more, there's never been enough in Universal to justify a full 2-week break. A lot of people do split stays, so they'll stay in a villa and then Universal for a couple of days. I think this definitely now gives you easily a good week, if not more, that you could do and spend in the 3 Universal theme parks and the water park now on resort.
And I think the thing is as well, I mean, the very first time we went to Florida, no surprise, we were with Donna and Darren. It was actually for their wedding. And we did all Disney first. Jack was tiny. I mean, he's 24 nearly, and he was 2. And we did Disney. And then Donna and Darren had been to Islands of Adventure. And they come back that night. We met in the hotel having a drink. And Darren said, the theming is a different level. Now, this is 20 odd years ago. The theming is, and they did Islands of Adventure 20 odd years ago, more than that maybe. Yeah. And then when you're walking through and you've got, as you walk in, it's just everything, and the bins. And so I just can't even imagine, like, I mean, you look at how Harry Potter is, you look at the Hogwarts Express. So I can't imagine what this is going to be like now when they did that then. Because they're just geniuses at making theming work. And well, I can't even get my words out. I just think it's going to be
I think it's a really incredible concept as well. So it's one of those things, like, obviously Disney is known for like the Kingdom Park, and I think this is going to be Universal's version of the Kingdom Park now. I think they finally nailed that Universal brand of what makes Universal immersive. And obviously Epic Universe is going to have these magical portals that will take you in and out of all the different franchises and all these different kind of worlds that we now are excited for. And I think it's the first time I've looked at a Universal theme park and gone, wow, this makes sense. Like Islands of Adventure, it was smaller islands, and you were traveling from different islands, basically, that were all part of this kind of big adventure you were going on. But this is now a whole universe, and you go into different universes. And I think the overall theme, and surprisingly for me, the one that I'm the most excited about is actually Celestial Park, which is kind of the central hub of Epic Universe. And I think it's because I like that romanticized astrological theme that's going on with it. So kind of as you go in through that big celestial tower where you've got kind of all the different universe icons in it, and you kind of enter into this beautiful, gorgeous park where they're going to have this giant lake with all the fountains going on, and there's going to be this big cascading waterfall that's going to run right the way through the whole heart of the park. And then to kind of have this Starfall races, I'm not sure if that's what it's still called, because I know it had a name change recently.
Behind me, we've got the Constellation Carousel. I mean, that looks phenomenal. Yeah. Just look at, if you're on YouTube, I mean, if you're not, Google it, but it's just stunning. The whole architecture of it is out of this world.
It's almost like, and I don't want to like make parallels to Disney, but you know, like tomorrow Discoveryland in Disneyland Paris, it's very much that kind of like turn of the century look at kind of astrology and the space and exploration type of thing. And I kind of like that retrofuturism vibe that's going on with it. And I think they've hit it out of the park. And I love star signs. I love astrology. So to kind of see all that kind of constellations, as you say, that is Stardust Racer. Sorry, now it's called the new Julian roller coaster they've got as well. That's going to be kind of in the linchpin of that kind of central area. That roller coaster, they've been doing testing of it, and it just looks incredible. But apparently at night time, the actual track's not going to be lit. Just the cars themselves are going to be lit. So obviously at night time, as it's kind of jetting around the open area that you can see, it's going to look like comets colliding.
Is that what I keep seeing on social media and thinking, they look like they're flying? What is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that what that is? I kept seeing it and thinking, I don't get what that is. Wow.
It's going to be really cool, and a really nice, like, kinetic. I love, and Universal do this incredibly well with their coasters, where they have it. So, like, the big one is obviously when Julian Dragons was still a thing, and you had the fire and ice coasters that kind of in front of the dragon statues in front, they kind of looped around each other. There's going to be a lot of that kinetic energy happening around Stardust Racer, sorry, as it's called now, where you've got the two different coasters dueling with each other and going around the giant asteroid at the front. Oh, it's just going to look so cool.
Yeah, I just can't wait. I mean, I'm just looking at the Ministry of Magic portal. This is what I can't get my head around. So, I mean, if you're not familiar with it, then have a look at the map, because it's all built around. So you go into Celestial Park, and then you go up to where all the waterfalls are, and you've got your portals all around the edge. What I can't get my head around is it can't just be the portal, because there's too many people to just go through a portal.
From my understanding, it's not. There are other entrances and exits, but they're designed more to be exits than entrances. So you can go in through the exits, but they're meant to be slightly hidden, is what I was listening to today. So there's a really good YouTuber called Theme Park Stop who covers all the construction updates, and she's going through all the plans with a fine-tooth comb, and she's really doing a great job. So definitely, if you want to do that, check out Stella. She's an incredible YouTuber and does a lot of tweeting as well about Epic Universe. Everything I know because of her. But she was saying, yes, the portals are kind of meant to be the focus, so your eyes will be drawn into that to go in. this is a two-way system, so you can go in and out, but they're designed very much to lead you in. But there are exits throughout all the different lands that are kind of there, but they're a bit more hidden from the outside of Celestial Park looking into the portals.
So it's a bit like Diagon Alley then.
Yeah, yeah, very much. There are other
Which
ways,
actually,
but
they're little entrances, and yeah, so it'll be like that. Oh my God, I mean, when's the one opening in the UK? The rumour.
oh, if they're going to happen, well, who knows? But I think by 2030, I would say if they start actually going
God.
through, but it's very close, apparently, isn't it? The UK Universal Park, very close to getting signed off and official.
But it won't be the same as Florida, will it? It just won't. Right, so So let's go through some of the parks then. So we've got Ministry of Magic. So what do you know about the Ministry of Magic so far?
Well, this is the most recently so what Universal have been doing over the last couple of months, and that's why we'd held off doing this episode until we knew all the details of all the different lands. So each month we've been getting more information about each of the lands, and the most recent one they've announced is, and it's a mouthful title, as theme parks are doing now, but it is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. But what's interesting is it's actually going to be the French Ministry of Magic.
Yep. And fantastic.
Plus the British Ministry of Magic together at the same time. So you transport between the two. So yeah, as you say, this is based on the Fantastic Beasts franchise initially, and then you get to go to the Ministry of Magic from, is it Harry Potter 5? The Order of the Phoenix? Where you first go to the Ministry of Magic properly?
Yeah, it will be the Order of the Phoenix, won't it? I think. Yeah, because that's not 5. So 3.
I think.
Wow.
But I now know what it is. But I thought that's where it was going to be based, but it's actually based after the franchise. So it's based after the 7th film.
Yeah, so it's 1920s Paris.
Well, this is what's confusing about it. It actually jumps around in time. So the initial land you walk into is going to be the French Ministry of Magic based in 1920s France. So that side of it is. But then, and I'm jumping ahead, we'll jump back to the actual main bit, but the main big attraction is going to be the UK Ministry of Magic. But you actually go to the Metro Flu, so you go through the Flu network in Paris, and you come out inside the UK Ministry of Magic. But that attraction is actually set after the Harry Potter franchise, and it's going to be, what's her name? Professor Umbridge. Is it Umbridge?
Dolores Umbridge.
Dolores, yes.
Yeah.
So it's the trial of her, basically. So you're going to arrive in the Ministry of Magic as she's about to go on trial. And in typical theme park magic, it doesn't obviously go according to plan, and she starts to try to escape. And you're part of the people caught up in the Ministry of Magic as she's on trial, but also trying to escape her trial at the same time as well. And that's kind of the storyline about it. So yeah, they're 2 different time zones, but they're all one land.
Do you know, Imelda Staunton played Dolores Umbridge so well, it took me years to get over to even like her. Yes. And it was only when she played the Queen that I forgave her. Kill the Queen, I couldn't even...
She's an incredible character in the book, and she brought that character to life, where you hate somebody so much, but you love her for that as well. Every scene she's in, she steals, she's incredible. So when they announced that that's what the storyline of this Ministry of Magic attraction is going to be, I was sold instantly. I was like, this is going to be incredible, because she's such a great villain in that series, and to have that character come to life now as well in an attraction is so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I mean, there's just somebody called me a witch the other day, actually, just totally off-piste.
Yes, you do.
And I was like, well, if I am, I feel a bit cheated, because I really should have gone to Hogwarts. But
where's my letter?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that reaction. They were saying it as a compliment, but I was like, well, I should have gone to Hogwarts then. But I'm just so mad on Harry Potter. I mean, in the last episode we were talking about it, Chris and the boys get fed up with me because I could just spend all day just in Diagon Alley and in Hogsmeade. So this is just a whole new thing for Harry Potter fans. It's going to be incredible. Yeah. But there's so much more there as well.
So this is the thing. So obviously then you've got the 1920s Fantastic Beasts side of it as well, and there's going to be a really cool kind of circus show based on. And I've seen the films, but I didn't love the Fantastic Beasts as much as the originals. But there is that kind of scene where they go into the circus in the Fantastic Beasts film. So that's what the attraction is going to be in the French side of it as well. So you're going to go into the circus, and you're going to get to watch all the kind of Fantastic Beast characters come to life as well in a kind of stage show performance piece as well. So I think that's going to be really exciting as well to kind of see Universal do one of their traditional kind of shows that they do, like in the style of like Terminator. They used to do the Terminator 2D, 3D. That was one of my favorites. The Twister Ride It Out. Apparently it's meant to be a bit like that, where it's a show with special effects and things like that that you watch in a theatre. So I think that's going to be incredible as well.
I hope it's not all 3D though, 4D, 5D, whatever it is now, because I think you get a bit over, don't you? But I can't believe you didn't like Fantastic Beasts. I thought Eddie Redmayne was amazing, and Jude Law as Dumbledore. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I've literally, the last film, I hate to say it, I tried to watch it 3 times on a Virgin cruise and fell asleep every single time. I just couldn't get into it, the third one. But the potential was there, but I don't think I enjoyed the films so much. But the original Harry Potter films, I think we rewatched them every year without fail. No, every year they get rewatched without fail.
As soon as it starts getting frosty, I'm like, right, Harry Potter every Saturday time.
Harry Potter season.
And everyone's like, for God's sake. But I'm obsessed. I just absolutely love it. I should have gone to Hogwarts. I've just been cheated in life. So the next land.
So the next one, I'm going to say now, the one that I'm probably the most excited about, but this is my geeky nerdiness coming out, is going to be Super Nintendo Land, or Super Nintendo World, is it called? Honestly, like the fact that they've already opened this in the Universal Tokyo, or Universal Japan, theme park, and now we've also got it in California. However, this one is going to be the biggest of them all, apart from Japan, because Japan's getting the same expansion as well. But I'm a big, big gamer. I love playing computer games. I take my Nintendo Switch everywhere with me now. I don't leave the house without it, type of thing. So to be able to kind of go, and I've held off going to Super Nintendo World in LA when we were there. It was being built. Absolutely love Mario so much. So the thought of being able to kind of walk around the Mushroom Kingdom, see Mario, all the amazing interactive stuff they've got, where you can get kind of the power-up band that you wear, and you can interact with all the power bricks and collect coins. You can meet Toad, you can meet Mario, you can meet Princess Peach. But then you're also going to get the Donkey Kong Land as well when this opens as well, which is coming to the first only American park as well. So then you've got Donkey Kong, and you've got that really cool roller coaster where it looks like you're kind of going over the broken tracks in the minecart sections of Donkey Kong. So excited for Super Nintendo World.
It does look incredible. And I mean, I say I'm not a big fan, but I used to play it all the time when I was younger. I mean, I was like 18 when it came out, but that was the day when like we first started getting, what were the game things then?
Probably the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and the...
Might even be, the PlayStation 1 or something. It was like years and years ago. But, and I remember actually Jack getting it on a Nintendo. Was it? Game Boy?
Yeah.
Nintendo. Yeah. Oh no, what are the things that flipped up?
The DS.
Yeah.
Nintendo DS.
He used to go to bed and I used to get him onto the next world. He said the other day, I felt cheated as a child. And I said, but I was helping you, getting you on the bed in the next land. But, so yeah, I probably am more of a fan than I could let on. But it will be interesting to see, and it'll bring it all to life, because that will be, to me, a bit like Cat in the Hat. It will be colourful and vibrant.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's quite exciting.
I think they've done an incredible job. Like, just the sheer kinetic level of it as well. So when you walk into kind of the Mushroom Kingdom, where you can see kind of all the piranha plants moving around, you can see the Goombas walking around, you can see coins spinning. It's just a feast for the eyes type of thing. And then to kind of do that Mario Kart attraction as well, where it's kind of a bit of a mixed reality. So you've got real world sets with augmented reality animations as well. Like, I'm going to nerd out so much when I get to Super Nintendo World. I can't wait. And then if the rumors are true, this isn't going to be the first Nintendo Lands we're going to get across the Universal Orlando Resort, and we could see Nintendo Worlds coming to the other 2 parks as well, which Pokemon has been put in the air. There's rumors of Pokemon coming to Universal. There's also rumors of Zelda coming as well to Universal theme parks, and the nerd in me is just so excited because I'm just such a big Nintendo fan. I'm a big Sega fan as well. Like, I was in the Sega Nintendo rivalry, and I was a Sega fan as a kid, so Sonic the Hedgehog is my kind of favorite character in gaming, but I love Nintendo so much as well. I think they do fantastic work with all their games. So this is a dream come true to see Nintendo World come alive.
No, and this will be a bit like, I suppose for you, like me going through Harry Potter Land.
Yes.
It's just feel like I could almost internally combust. I get that excited when I get there. And Chris just rolls his eyes at me. And I mean, I was on the Hogwarts Express this time, and I was like, my friend's never been on. And she's like, why are you so excited? I was like, it's coming. And
Do you get what I
yeah,
mean?
I've been on it
That is
before, but
100%
I
going to be
just
me.
yeah, it's just if something you've grown up with, or not grown up with, so but if something you've invested in so much to see it come
Yeah,
to life is amazing,
yeah.
and this is what they're going to do well here.
It's little nerdy things as well. Though. So, like they've got the Toadstool Cafe as well, so you can
Mm,
go into there and you can obviously
yeah,
have Mario themed food as well. But the fact they've got kind of all the digital screens, so you can watch the toads make the food as well. So they've got them all in the kitchens cooking and all that type of stuff. Like there's just so much I've seen of like the lands in Japan and in LA of this. They put so much detail into this land. It's
mm,
going to be such a feast for the eyes. It's going to be amazing.
it is exciting. And then the next one, which is just a real family favourite film for us, is the How to Train Your Dragon. Are
Which
you a fan of
I
that?
love the films. No, I love the films. I genuinely love the films. I was shocked they picked this one when they announced kind of all the franchise they were going to work with. When this was one of the ones that was rumored, I was like, is
Uh,
there enough to build?
yes.
What they are building looks phenomenal. It looks so good that I'm actually more excited to watch the films now that I've seen all the details they're bringing into these lands and all the rides
To
they're
go on
bringing and
what?
what they're doing with it, how to train your dragon. It just looks so much fun.
Because I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't think I've had the press release on this one. Have I? I don't know now. But I'm assuming it's Viking.
Yeah, so it's got kind of that obviously How to Train Your Dragon Viking vibe. But this is you go into the Isle of Berk, and it's going to be the Isle of Berk after the dragons have kind of integrated. So it's kind of when the
Right,
dragons are living with the Vikings on in the Isle
right.
of Berk. And there are, off the top of my head, there are three main attractions that I know of at the moment. So and four actually, because it's the show. So you've got the roller coaster, and the roller coaster is the one that I'm really excited about. So it's kind of the flying school with Hiccup. So you're going to learn
Wow.
how to fly on the back of a dragon. Obviously, the dragon's the roller coaster, and there are some really cool scenes that I've seen whereby like Hiccup is going to be helping you kind of take off and learn how to fly. There's also, and I forgot what it's actually called. It's like the firefighting one. So this is kind of a water boat ride whereby you're going to go around on a water boat, and it's to train you how to put out fires. So obviously when the dragons accidentally set
Mm,
fire to things, but it's all done in a very fun cartoon way with this all like cardboard cutouts of dragons setting fire to buildings. So you've got to go around with a water pistol in this boat and shoot
mm.
all the different signs. So again, a really fun interactive attraction. Then you've got the spinner attraction. Now, these I've seen kind of in a lot of theme parks. So you kind of got it where it's on a giant arm and you sit in a glider and it kind of flies around in the air and you can spin the car while you're in it type of thing and go upside down and do twists if you want to. That's going to be so much fun again. That's another one where the dragons are teaching you how to fly on the back of a dragon. And then this show that they're bringing as well, the How to Train Your Dragon show, is taken from one of the Asia Universal parks. But again, the special effects, the puppetry that's going on in this show as well,
Right.
it's an incredible one where you literally see dragons flying over the audience above you and everything. Everything I've seen of what they're building just looks so much fun.
Well, Royal Caribbean used to have a How to Train Your Dragon on ice, and I always wanted to really
Did
get on a
they?
ship to see that. Yeah, because when they had the DreamWorks contract, but they don't do it
Yes.
anymore. I'm gutted because it was on Oasis. I'm just looking for Alf. I don't know where he's gone. I'll say I love it so much that I've got a dog that looks like Toothless. Because
Oh yes, yeah.
he's a spit, and he's got no teeth. He's a spitting image of Toothless. But I just love it. I think it's going to be magical. That, and I know what you're saying. It's not a very current film, but I think it's
Yeah,
one that people love. And if that's on telly,
yeah,
even now, our kids are
yeah.
grown up and moved out. And if that is on telly on a Saturday tea time, me and Chris watch it because we love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I've watched all the films, and I know like there's a TV series as well that was on. I don't know which channel it was on, but it was on one of the channels as well for kids. So definitely for kind of the younger generation, I think I'm kind of at that point whereby I watched it in the cinema. I definitely watched the first one in the cinema, and I've watched the others when they've come on demand. I think the younger generation, kids who are probably kind of in their 19s territory, they would have grown up with
Yeah,
How to
yeah.
Train Your Dragon, and it's an incredibly popular franchise. So I think definitely for the younger generation, maybe if I did have kids, my kids would probably have grown up watching How to Train Your Dragon and love it
Mm.
as much as maybe I love or like Ariel, The Little Mermaid, The Lion King. That's my generation's nostalgia. I think this is going to be the next generation's nostalgia of what they watched when they were kids growing up.
That's a really interesting thought, actually, because Joey's 18 and he grew up. That was like, as he grew up, that was one of his favourite films.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, they've done that, haven't they? So you've got Mario, you've got
Yep.
Harry Potter, and you've got How to Train
Yep.
Your Dragon,
Yeah.
Dark Universe. So, but you've actually got three generations there of really
Yeah.
important things that people grew up
Yeah.
with. That's really clever.
I think this is why this park, out of all the Universal parks, has probably got the most potential to be the most successful because they've done that. That's what Disney have nailed really well. Disney has
Mm,
the multi-generational
yeah.
brands type of thing. So, Snow White is relevant now as it was to people who watched it when
Mm,
it first came out. And they've had that thing whereby no matter what age you are, you're going to know those characters. I don't think Universal have nailed that as much because when we talked about it in the last episode, like Toon Lagoon, the attractions are incredible, but younger kids may not have watched Popeyes. They may not have
really.
watched Betty Boop, but people our age kind of know of it. We knew about it type of
Mm,
thing. It depends on how far you're on the spectrum is how much of an impact it had on you. But I think all the franchises they're building in Epic Universe have the potential to have that multi-generational
yeah.
touch with all the people because, older people like me love How to Train Your Dragon. It's a fun film to watch.
Mm.
But then the kids grew up watching it because it was on TV. It was in the cinemas when they grew up. So yeah, it's definitely got that great multi-generational, no matter how old you are or how young you are, you're going to love these characters.
And Harry Potter, and my kids were growing up being forced to watch it. So they're not the biggest fans. They have like Harry Potter PTSD. And they're a bit, I'd be like, I'll read you Harry Potter. No.
Not again.
But so what I am most intrigued about and what I am dying to see is Dark Universe.
I when they teased this, right, when there was rumors going around that they were going to do a kind of Universal Classic Monsters, and Universal have desperately, desperately tried to bring back the classic monsters as a kind of current franchise
Mm.
and really kind of tap into that legacy of the Universal brand. And I don't think they've nailed it properly. But when they showed the reveal for Dark Universe, I was like,
Boring.
sold, done, take my money, I want to go.
I
They've done
know.
such a great job with this land.
I mean, Darkmoor, I just can't imagine what it's going to look like in the amazing Florida weather. But
Yeah,
then I suppose they do it in Diagon Alley, don't they? They're good at bringing
yeah.
that theming in. But I wonder if it's going to be too scary for kids. Have they said?
This is my concern about it, and it'll be interesting because I do think so. There are two attractions that I know of at the moment in this land. You've got, and I'm going to get the names of them because I don't actually remember what they are. That's the main one, but I don't want to talk about that one yet. Here we go. So it's Curse of the Werewolf, I believe, is the title of the attraction. But this is going
Yep.
to be the roller coaster, and it is a kind
Mhm.
of spinning coaster. It doesn't go upside down, from my understanding, but it is a spinning coaster whereby you are going to get chased by a werewolf at some point through the attraction. And from what I've seen and what they've teased, people who maybe went to Disney back when the Yeti used to actually move in Expedition Everest,
Mm,
there is
yeah.
an animatronic, yeah, there is an animatronic Wolfman apparently inside this attraction that does try to grab you as you go through the building. So yeah, if you are somebody who's a little bit scared of things like that, then is this going to be? And there's been a lot of debate of like, is this the PG-13 Universal? Is it a little bit too much for people?
I think it'll be. I mean, at the end of the day, Universal is great for little kids, but it's brilliant for families. With
Yeah.
not older kids, but I'd say from like 9, 8, 9
Yes.
upwards.
Yeah.
And then once they start getting tall enough for the rides, but there's a lot for the little ones as well. I
Yeah.
think for families, like for us, and my boys, their Disney days are over. Definitely, they're just not interested. But this would be all
Yeah.
over it.
This is what Universal typically have done. So they've had this weird between point whereby people kind of who love it kind of go, "Oh, I'm too big for Disney." And Universal used to firmly cater to those people, and they always really struggled to get the younger tykes, kind
Mm,
of, the little kids type of thing. They didn't do much for it. They've changed that massively now, and
mm,
obviously adding in Mario, adding in the Isle of Berk, and then obviously adding
no,
in the Minions and all that type of stuff. They've done a lot of work to kind of go, well, no,
mm,
we can totally do the tykes and the teens as well. Universal was always the teens cool. It's cool to go to Universal. And
mm,
I think this land especially is them catering to that market, that whole
yeah,
like, it doesn't have to be baby. It doesn't have to be safe. You can do something a little bit edgy, and the main attraction now as well. So the what is it they call it? It's called Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein
yeah.
experiment, where you go into kind of Frankenstein's manor, and apparently you're going to get chased around this building by all the classic Universal monsters. So you've got kind of the Bride of Frankenstein, you've got Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula. They're all going to be fighting each other or chasing you. We don't really
Right.
know, but the monsters are going to be unleashed.
It says here, Dr. Victoria Frankenstein conducts a twisted experiment, and in a demonstration, you get to witness plans go wrong, and she attempts to control the most dangerous monsters.
It wouldn't be a theme park attraction if something didn't go wrong.
It'll be
It's that classic
brilliant.
storyline.
You know what I'd love to see as well? Because obviously I'm a hairdresser. I taught hairdressing for years, and I taught avant-garde, so like all the weird and wonderful stuff. And the Darkmoor Monster makeup experience, because that would have been my dream
Yes.
career, doing theatrical makeup, but it was
Yeah.
too expensive to do, and there was no grants when I was younger for that, or loans or anything. I actually phoned up a student loan company to do it. This it was £10,000 a term, and they laughed at me
Yeah.
because it wasn't doctors or solicitors, or so I never got to do
Really?
it. So that for me, because back in the day it wasn't, they were less diverse. There were, the
Yeah.
hairdressing was,
Yeah.
unless your parents were millionaires, you weren't doing that course. Now they
Yeah.
can, but so I'd love to go and see that, the makeup experience. That would be incredible.
This is the thing that I don't think it's not the headline stuff, but this is the stuff I think that will make it stand the test
Yeah.
of time is all these smaller attractions that will
Yeah.
only resonate to certain people, but they'll resonate really well. They already do it. So the Harry Potter land is going to expand upon the kind of wand technology they've got. So the fact that you can kind of get a magic wand from the Parisian version of Ollivander's, you can go pick out a magic wand and you can go around the land and interact with it. So you can cast spells around the land and things will interact with you. When you're in the Mario land, you've got the power-up band. So you can kind of go around and collect coins and text your score and unlock secret areas around the land as well. So the fact they're going to have all these little interactive experiences that some people will want to do inside those specific universes is what's going to make it people want to come back time and time again to kind of experience this land and try new adventures. And it's not just going to be about the big attractions, the big headlines.
No.
There's lots of small details. All the dining, all these lands have unique dining opportunities.
Yeah.
So like the one in the Monsters land as well is going to be themed. I believe it's like Van Helsing, if I'm right.
The Monsters one.
Yeah, what's the bar called in there? Isn't it something Van Helsing?
You've got DeLacy's Cottage and the Burning Blade Tavern. Oh, and Das Steakhouse.
Which I think is hysterical that it's going to be vampire themed. The steakhouse is going to be vampire themed, but it is spelled Stake house rather than meat steak.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
Burning Blade Tavern is a smouldering, flaming, periodically Darkmoor monster hunters have transformed this old fiery mill into their favourite hangout. So it's like burgers and stuff. And then DeLacy's Cottage is near Frankenstein's Manor, and that's a food stand. It's going to be incredible. Yeah. Really. Really. Well, do you know where my favourite place to eat at Universal was this time? And it was phenomenal. Is it called Toothsome? Toothsome?
Oh, the Toothsome Chocolate Emporium.
Oh, it's incredible. It's really good. It's just, I loved it. And I love the sweets. And I mean, obviously the milkshakes, but I'm not a milkshake person. But we just had burger, but it was just incredible. And just like the people that it's all the theming and they're going around talking to you. It's a great experience, but really good food. It was really good. So
I've heard good things about it. I've never eaten there.
It was brilliant. It was really, really good. And that was my one place I wanted to eat while I was there. We ate in our hotel, which was phenomenal, which was a Universal hotel. But it's funny because we got tapas. This is completely off subject, and so she said, "Oh, get 5 dishes," but you forget they're American dishes, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
So we got 5 between 2, and it was like 5 full-size meals. It was huge, but it was brilliant.
The place we ate the most when we were at Universal last is Cowfish Sushi. It's a sushi and a burger bar, weirdly. But honestly, the portion sizes were amazing. But the food was incredible. I don't know what it's like now, but definitely when we went and stayed at Universal for a long time, which was a good couple of years ago. I think it was our honeymoon year. We ate there 3 times, I think, in the space of like a week that we stayed there. Such good food.
We wanted to eat there. Well, I wanted to eat there, but Chris isn't a big fan of sushi. So I suppose the last thing we've got to look at is the hotels on site, because there is one major hotel on site, and then I don't know, are the other 2 on site or slightly off site?
Slightly offside, they're nearby, so you do technically have to get a bus from the two offside hotels to get back and forth Epic Universe, but they're closer than the main resort area. Because I think that's something we never really talked about, actually, have we? About logistically where these are all located.
Yes.
It's probably
Yeah.
now it's too late to say at the end of the episode, but Epic Universe is actually a satellite resort, and that's what's quite interesting about this concept. It's not actually walkable from kind of the current Universal Orlando resort. It is slightly down the road. I think it's about like a 10-minute drive down the road from the main current Universal Orlando resort, but they are creating a kind of pocket resort now down here. There are rumors of a kind of city walk like area coming, but we've seen nothing of that yet. And whether that's going to be part of the opening, I don't know. But there is rumors of a kind of shopping, dining outside the park area coming as well. But
Right.
yes, as you say, there are two resorts at least, or three hotels, technically two resorts coming. One of them is at Epic Universe, and one is across the road from Epic Universe.
And I suppose that's only going to be for anybody that's really familiar with Universal. It's only going to be probably a Cabana Bay distance. It's not going to be far.
It's literally across the road, I believe. Like you've got to go around the junction
Yeah.
and back. But they're building, from my understanding, they're building dedicated roads to get around all this stuff. So the only traffic that will be able to use them are going to be universal traffic. So it will be easy to get back and forth these different hotels and resorts type of thing to get around. And they will have a transportation plan in place. It's going to be no different than you get in a Disney bus. Just the difference is you are going to have to transfer between to get from kind of Islands of Adventure and Studios. That is going to be a separate site than the site for Epic Universe, but there is room to expand Epic Universe to be quite a big resort in itself.
It's exciting, isn't it? So the first hotel, which just looks phenomenal, is Helios.
Yeah.
So what do you know about Helios?
Yeah, so the Helios Grand Hotel it's an interesting concept because it's actually in the park itself. So it's not the front of the park, it's actually the back of the park. But it will have its own dedicated entrance as well. So only for those guests who are staying in Grand Helios, they will be able to kind of then, like you can in Disneyland Paris at the moment, and some Disney parks offer this around the world, but you can actually then use your private entrance to get into the theme park. But what I think is really interesting is this is going to be the backdrop for the fireworks display that's going to be happening as well. So if you're in the park watching the fireworks, it's going to be like you've got it in front of the castle in Walt Disney World. There's actually going to be over the Grand Helios Hotel as well. So it's going to kind of work like almost the castle landmark. It's going to be right at the very far end as you walk in from the main entrance. You can see the Grand Helios at the back, or the Helios Grand. I can't remember which way around it is. Is it the Helios Grand or the Grand Helios?
Helios Grand.
Helios Grand. So yeah, it's kind of going to be the main focal of Celestial Park if you walk in from the main entrance as well. So this is going to be their top tier, and I don't know prices. It's not available to book yet. There's no details of when it's going to be available to book, so we've got no kind of leading prices yet. But I'm expecting it to catch quite a big premium. It could possibly be the most expensive hotel on Universal property, by the way my gut is going with it. But I could be pleasantly surprised.
Especially for the first couple of years, it's going to definitely sit a premium because people are going to want to stay there, aren't they? It's going to be
absolutely
like a frenzy at first. There are two other hotels. So we've got the Stella Nova Resort and Terra Luna Resort. Have I said that right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And these are twin resorts, and they're opposite the road from each other, so they are technically two separate hotels, but they do share the same theme and the same concept. I think one of them, they're just slightly different decor on the inside. I think one's got a bit more of a futuristic look, and one's got a bit more of a contemporary look, is my understanding. But I've only seen like artwork of these two hotels so far.
Yeah, one says diverse planetary elements, and one says distant galaxies and stars. Yeah. So the outside of the buildings are all shimmery.
Yeah, and when I first saw them constructing this, I was a little bit like, I don't think it's going to look very nice. But now they've finished it, and they've added as well some sparkling, twinkling lights in it as well. So it's going to look literally like a plasma galaxy. It's going to shimmer and change color as the kind of the sun sets and sun rises. But then you're going to have all these twinkling stars as well on the outside of it as well. So it is literally going to look like a giant, multicolored aurora almost. It's going to look, it actually, so in the pictures and videos I've seen so far, it does look stunning.
So where does it sit in terms of price point? Is it like, what would you compare it to other Universal hotels?
Very much Endless Summer territory. I don't know if it's slightly above Endless Summer, but it's in the Endless Summer category. So it's very much a value resort, and they are intentionally doing this as kind of an entry-level price point type of thing. Some of the early pricing, so you can book this at the moment. Obviously, we don't know the opening date officially of Epic Universe, but you can book this, and there's been prices of around about $200 a night, which, it's quite reasonably priced for a theme park hotel, to be honest.
Okay, so does Endless Summer sit below Cabana Bay? Or
Yes,
is it the
yeah.
same?
And
Right. No,
and the
below.
summer is the value, and then to kind of Cabana Bay is kind of a step above them basically. So it's like a little bump up extra. I think it's worth mention as well though that these two packs, while they don't get access to kind of the express pass features that you get with the premium home resorts, they do include the early admission as well though to Volcano Bay and to Wizarding World. What we don't know is if this is going to be Wizarding World in Epic Universe or not. They haven't
Right.
announced that yet, but it does include the current same perks you get for staying in an on-site property as well. So you do have a slight advantage as well of getting into kind of Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade as well over what you would get if you were staying off property. So these are full-fledged, universal resorts. You get the full features and benefits of being able to kind of charge to your room and all that type of stuff as well if you stay in Terra Luna, Stella Nova as well.
And Helios, is that, will that have the express pass?
As it stands at the moment, they haven't really announced it that I've seen anyway. They may have, and I may have missed it in a press release, but I would believe, given the fact that all the other Premier resorts do include access to kind of the Express Pass, I would 100% expect, start that again, like I would 100% expect it to include kind of the same perks of the equivalent hotels that are in the main resort that you would get there as well. The benefit of this is I'm guessing as well, it would probably include guaranteed entry into Epic Universe as well.
Right.
Again, there's no details about opening date. There's no details about ticketing and how that's going to work, especially if kind of those people who maybe buy the 14-day express passes, whether it'll include access to it. The current rumor is it won't. And the current rumor is if you can either buy a per day ticket and pay a single one-off price, or if you do buy a multi-day ticket, whether that's a kind of local Florida or US-based ticket or the UK Explorer ticket, you can only have 1 day guaranteed entry into Epic Universe. If you want to go more than once, for at least the opening period, you'll have to buy a
Right.
single dated ticket, is the rumor. So I would expect, again, if you're staying in the Helios Grand, you would probably have guaranteed entry into Epic Universe as well.
Right. I see. So have we any idea of opening dates? None at all.
Just speculation at the moment. Officially, it's still coming 2025. There was something that was leaked and then retracted quite quickly by Universal on a podcast they released that, again, Alicia did post about and say, basically, but there was a leak about kind of summer 2025. The latest I've heard, and again, this is from Alicia, she just posted about it in a YouTube video this week. The reason for the delay is because of the main access roads to get to Epic Universe. So for them to be able to kind of filter the traffic to get in, they need to build a whole new junction, basically coming off the main international drive, the main road. And that apparently isn't planned to be finished until summer 2025. So current rumors are we could start seeing kind of previews as early as kind of spring next year, but they won't be able to go into full-on opening to all guests until that turnpike or that junction is fully open and they can manage the level of traffic they're expected to open. That's the current theory, at least anyway, going around the internet.
I think if you're a theme park, I can't even talk, a theme park fan, why have I struggled today with certain words? It's just a really exciting time because, I don't think in our lifetime something new has opened. I mean, Animal Kingdom maybe, but that's years ago. It's just so exciting.
Well, I think the last new major theme park, anyway, obviously like Legoland opened, but I don't think Legoland is quite on this scale. But it was 2001, I think, 2000, when Islands of Adventure itself was the most recent headline theme park that opened. Obviously, then you had 1998 was Animal Kingdom. So it's been almost 20 years since a full-on major theme park has come to the Orlando area. And I think globally, all eyes are looking towards Epic Universe as kind of the next major theme park to open around the world, because we're talking top 10 theme parks in the world from a pure attendance point of view, kind of Universal gets. So all eyes are looking to this theme park, and I think it's going to set the standard for anything that's going to come afterwards. And it'll be interesting, like D23 at the time we're filming this, D23 is the big Disney Expo. And there's a lot of speculation about could this be the D23 where Disney announce what they're going to be doing to counter Epic Universe, or are they going to wait and see and let Universal have their time in the sun and then plan to kind of counter it once they see the reaction to it? But I think Disney, as much as they will publicly never admit that Universal is competition to them, I think this theme park clearly puts them in the spitting distance of kind of competing with Disney.
Well, I think just from, our last podcast, we touched on it, but I think that for me, there's no competition anymore. It's Team Universe. And I love Disney, but this time for me, it was Universal. It was incredible. That's what I enjoyed most. 100% hands down. The whole experience, the hotel, everything. And I've done both on-site experiences now, Disney a few times, and for me, this was phenomenal. I just
Yeah.
loved it.
See, I've signed my soul and blood to Disney. I've signed into the vacation club, so we've got the Disney timeshare.
Yeah, so we're like,
So, like, it's not even worth me thinking about ever staying anywhere else because they've got my money for the next 50 years.
yeah,
But no, I do think definitely like this is a conflict. We're thinking of booking a trip now to go next September, so I'm kind of hoping to kind of avoid the summer period and hopefully go in September, October time, and hopefully then Epic Universe will be open and the running will be kind of going on it type of thing. But that's the debate now. We've got the Disney Vacation Club. Our accommodation is technically prepaid for, but I really want to stay in the Helios Grand. I really want to stay in it and just kind of have that experience of staying in that hotel. So it's pulling me not away from Disney, but it's definitely attracting me towards Universal. And I definitely will be spending more time in Universal than I have in the past.
the thing is, you can do both, and people do both all the time. And so, there, in theory, there is no competition because you're going to do both. It's just you just choose which side of the fence you're going to stay on, and that's the decision, really. We still went and did Disney. Chris was blown away by Star Wars. It was phenomenal, apart
Yeah.
from Olga's Cantina. I thought that was disappointing.
Scandal!
No,
It's
because
my favourite bars on the planet.
we booked it the second it came out, and they stood us in front of a fire exit. I was livid.
Really?
We were gonna have all that the meze and we didn't
Yeah.
have
Oh,
we
did you
didn't
have one of
have
the
a
standing
seat.
tables?
Yeah, but by the fire exit, it was just in a dark corner, and I said, "This isn't." She was like, "Tough, really." So we didn't stay. I had one cocktail. We had a wine, and they made that green. It was rubbish. I was too mad to even have a cocktail, and I'll never go back. It was awful. And it could have
See,
been
from
really
my
good.
perspective, it's the best bar on the planet, and I have had two incredible times in Ogre's Cantina, and I've drunk every single cocktail on that menu, and I've been singing the songs, I've downloaded the soundtrack. Like, it's my favorite bar on the planet. Like, so yeah, it's an
That was
interesting
my
one.
worst single experience of Disney staff ever. In all the
Really?
years we've gone, her attitude was disgusting. Yeah,
Really?
it was awful. So it just put me off. We just drank our drinks and went.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't good at all. But I mean,
I went not long
generally,
after opening, so it was still technically, I think, within a few months of opening. We were really, really lucky. It was just as Galaxy's Edge opened. I think everyone was still new, and there were really strict rules at the time about a 2-drink max. No, I had 8, because we were just egging everyone on though. So like people were coming in, they were having one drink to see it, and then go, no, 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 stay, try this one, try this drink, try this drink. So the cast members were a bit like, okay, you've had your 4, one more. We're like, yeah, okay, cool. And then we were drinking them, and they were like, one more there. We were just there for about 2 hours, just constantly drinking cocktails. Then they literally times like, we're closing. We are literally closing. You have to leave. And I was like, okay, one for the road then.
I think if you get a seat at the bar, one of the seats in the middle, or one of the tables, then fine. But how can you eat any of the snacks?
Nope.
Stood in a corner. There's not even this. You've got the green exit light. It was awful. So that's not somewhere where you put people.
Food was never really the intention for Ogre's Cantina. When it first launched, there was nothing other than just like beer snacks, ultimately, like crisps and that. It was just down to complaints. People thought it was a restaurant, so they then introduced full-on meals. But then, as you say, the restaurant, it's not really designed as a restaurant. It is very much designed as a bar.
It's messy, isn't it? So even if you stood in the middle and you can put your cooked meats and fair enough, but when you stood in the corner, you can't. So yeah,
that wasn't on the menu originally. See, that was added. That was added after complaints about there was nothing to eat. So it was never designed to have food. It was literally just like rice chips and things like, Chinese rice crackers. It was just a bowl of that you could have. I forgot it was like Ogre's Mix or something like that. That was all they served, but people were booking it thinking it was a restaurant.
There's not much.
Anyway, I digress. But
not nowhere near as good as Toothsome. Toothsome, is it called? Chocolate Emporium. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you're going to choose between the two, go there. But I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. You probably have to cut a load out. But yeah, exciting times.
It is definitely. I think if you are interested in ever booking to visit Universal Orlando, or you're looking to do a split stay and make it a fully protected package, then definitely from the UK, I would love to help you. You can find me online everywhere under magical-traveler.com. We do specialize in the Orlando area. We have some great rates, especially with Universal. So a bit of a sales pitch, but I would love to help if you are interested in visiting. We don't know the opening date yet, so we can just speculate, but I think you're pretty safe. Not that I would like to bet any money on it, but you're pretty safe, I think, assuming the launch goes to plan, which everything looks like it will be, but you should be safe from a kind of like August onwards would be if I had to put money down, I would. I'm not going to, but if I would, that's what I would put it down for. But yeah, if you are interested, sorry, you can find me anywhere online at magical-traveler.com, or all my social media is magical TRVLR. And then Sarah, I know you've got a guide on your website about Epic Universe, but you've also got content about your time when you went. Where's the best place the guys can find that?
So you can find us, and all the Epic Universe stuff is on Cruising with Kids, and all of our Universal and Disney booking stuff is on Mini Travelers. So if you just go in the search feature search, it's really easy to navigate and it's all there.
Have another, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this journey around the universe with us. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify or Amazon. It just helps those platforms know you've enjoyed it and it can recommend it to others. And if you're watching this on YouTube, give us a comment to tell us what you've enjoyed, what you're looking forward to for Epic Universe, and like and subscribe us as well. So again, that platform knows you're enjoying this. Other than that, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.